Okay, I'm back. It's the next day. I went home, did some breathing exercises. I did some yoga, and that calmed me down. Had a couple beers, that helped.
Hold on! Are you right there?
So yeah, first time doing U-joints and my very first mistake, which is fine because I was able to grab a good BRP set this morning. Yeah, I learned a lesson, and it's a lesson I already knew what to look for, but I had an issue with this popping through here, and obviously the only way for that to happen is if there's something behind that cap. Now what do you think was behind that cap? You're right, the needle bearings. This is exactly how I took it off, just like that. Those needle bearings all sitting in the bottom like that. Stupid, just stupid. And this is exactly how I took this off. There's two more sitting right there. So I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of the video of reinstalling the BRP ones. I just wanted you to see that it can happen easily. So the very first two sets that I put on, the caps here, they worked great, went right on. The problem is, now you have them supported left and right, but you still have this movement when you need to put these caps on. So when you slide the cap up and in to the yoke, like so, you still have all this space that the cross piece can move up and down. That's what you have to watch. Alright, I just went to start this process over again. Wanted to show you something. They were the wrong universal joints that I got. And I'm not gonna harp on the guy who ordered them for me because he's a fucking awesome guy. Might not have been his fault. Might have been somebody else's fault. But the bottom line here is that I got these. This is the old cross. I don't know what they call that. It's not the joint, it's the, whatever the frig it is. Anyways. When I went to put this in here, you can see it doesn't go in. Right there. So what I did was, and I shouldn't have, but it was very small amount of material from there, so I could kind of work it in. Well, I'm not going to put it in right now because it's, once it's in there, it's a little bit of a bitch to get out, but you can see what I needed to do to get it in. The other side kind of went in no problem. I want to show you the BRP product. Fits in like that. No issues whatsoever. Okay? Boom. No problems. Okay, so there's something to be said for, I just think that these caps are really big. See, the problem is the shoulder here, they have this edge right here on the shoulder. If that edge wasn't there, they would probably fit in. But you can see the size difference between the two. BRP aftermarket. I understand. Oh fuck, like look at the size of that. I should have saw that. You know. Well, saying that, there's, yeah, they were bigger. There's the original one that came out. And you can see that these are definitely even bigger than what came out. Now this here is the original, and here is a BRP replacement, so it's a little bit different, could be off another bike, but bottom line is here, that certainly should not be bigger than what came out, and this most definitely was. And this doesn't even have that shoulder on it. This shoulder here. This is the original equipment that came out. Doesn't even have that. This one does. This is my BRP replacement. But because these are smaller, I'm able to fit them in nice. So this was a doomed project right from the get-go. See how nice that fits in? So I did want to show kind of a comparison between a BRP product and an aftermarket. And I'm sure this aftermarket would have been fine if I didn't F it up. But I'll tell you right now, this is a solid cap. Like, it doesn't feel like you could destroy this thing at all. Just visually, everything is sleek, hard lines. It looks like a well-made product. When you look at this aftermarket one, it's got rounded edges here. It's got an area in the center that looks and feels like a pop can, which is essentially probably what it was made out of, is a pop can. All the pop cans that we ship over to China, and they remanufacture them into ship products, and then they're so smart that they realize that they ship them back to us and we pay for them again in products like these. Now, saying that, I did F this up. That's my fault. But as the second time around, I don't think I would buy an aftermarket product, not these universal joints. I would buy the BRP product. Saying that, those U-joints that I took out of this, they were original BRP product. This is a 2009, and it probably has close to 5,800 miles on it, and the last year had the hardest miles, I guarantee it. Saying that, these have withstood a lot. I wouldn't expect these to withstand the same amount. Just my 2 cents on that. And another thing I found was the Zerk fitting. You got the BRP product Zerk fitting. Nice, square, robust. Like, look at that thing. And then you've got the aftermarket. Little tiny neck on it. It just looks like I could break it in half with my fingers. So I know lots of guys will say a lot of BRP products sucks, the seals suck, this sucks, that sucks. Taking a visual of this, if you guys have any comments of what you think is a better aftermarket universal joint, obviously, than the one I got, but a better one than BRP, factory replacement, I'd like to know. Because if it's like this, forget it. There's no way. That's crazy. It looks like it belongs on some kid's dinky toy. Now what I've done with these caps as well is I've taken some extra grease. There's a bit of a space between the top of the needle bearing and the actual seal. So I filled that with grease with a little screwdriver, and then there was a little spot of grease left over in the very, very bottom. I took the little screwdriver and just jammed it up against the bottom of the needle bearings, and then just added a little bit more grease around, and hopefully that's gonna hold it. This was the mistake that happened previously. So it was. I want to stay away from tapping, but I just wanted to give that a bit of a wrap. And then we can turn this over carefully. You want to make sure you're keeping pressure this way in the cap, that way you don't upset the needle bearings. It should be right there. And you also want to make sure that everything is going straight as possible. So I'm happy with that. That's nice and loose. That means my needle bearings are set in there. And we're gonna give her, like I said, this is what screwed up last time. Got a nice big long bar here so I can get some, keep that centered as much as possible. There we go. Just clunked in. It's a good sign. Another good sign is that this is turning really nice. I will say that this probably would be major easier with another set of hands, no doubt. There we go. Okay, so this is nice and loose. Okay, we're doing good. Yeah, all we need to do, fit that next cap down in. This is where it gets a little dicey. So because we have the other side nice and flush, as you can see here, it's going to give us a little bit more travel room to bring that U-joint up, like so. Not too much, but a little bit. Enough for us to get this cap on, and hopefully centered in the needle bearings, which is obviously where we want to be. I'm just going to set that. That's where I lost it last time, right there. Okay. All right, I think we are good there. I'll just double check that it's sliding okay in both. And it is. So let's get our vise set. A good play. Good travel. We're good. Golden, boys. Grab my 11/16 socket. Okay, that's good there. So we can grab our bar. Beauty. Every time you turn, you check to make sure that this sucker is nice and loose. All right, let's check to see how far we are in the groove. Another turn in a bit. Went down a little bit further than I wanted, but coming back the other way with the cap, it should take up that space no problem. Oh, that's a beautiful thing, that is. Look what we got here, a working universal joint. That's amazing. A little bit different than yesterday. Yep, helps if you just take your time, but you know what? Lots of times these things, that's what you have to do. You got to make a mistake. Just don't make it again or else it starts getting costly. Oh my lord, it's done. Look at that. Thing of beauty. Now this one is looser than this one, but that's okay. What I did was to actually kind of loosen it up. You need the caps to come out this way and this way, obviously. So if I want this cap, if this area is tight, if I want this cap looser, I just need to give this a couple little wraps here. Not hard. Same thing on that side. Make it even. Then if I want this cap looser, obviously I flip it over. Give it a couple wraps. There you go. Even better. Okay? Same thing with this side. It's a little bit more difficult here because you got to kind of bang down on this one a little bit while you're kind of cradling that, so that one doesn't work so well. You just kind of hold it in your hand and give her a couple wraps. Boys, she's a done deal. Looking back on this universal joint installation, use the vise. Use the vise to press them out and use the vise to press them back in. It's so much easier. And get the right universal joints. That helps. Most definitely it helps. I don't know what to say about this. You saw it from beginning to end, first try, did not work out so well. But here we are. I'm gonna be back on the road for next week. Clips are in, everything is fantastic. All I gotta do is install this back in the bike. Done. Put my new wear ring on. You guys saw that as well. Didn't bother with the seal, it wasn't leaking, but I already had the wear ring, so yeah. Anyways, BRP product versus aftermarket. I wouldn't suggest it, not a universal joints anyways. I'm so friggin' happy that, I'm just so happy it's done, honestly. So happy it's done.